Continue Monday on the KTLA 5 Morning News.
Now at 7, a flood watch in effect as Southern California braces for a torrential downpour in the hours and days ahead, with flooding, debris flows, and even small tornadoes possible. Good evening, I'm Cher Calvin.
And I'm Micah Ullman. The storm, round one of 2 possible systems, expected to intensify through the weekend. Governor Newsom has already pre-deployed additional emergency crews to the region as evacuation warnings are now in effect in communities across Southern California that have been impacted by recent wildfires, with evacuation orders set to go into effect tonight at 8 p.m. in particularly vulnerable areas within the Palisades fire burn zone, as several inches of rain are expected to fall in the coming days. We have live team coverage from around Southern California. Sarah Welch is in Sierra Madre. Chris Wolf is in Pacific Palisades.
Well, we begin with meteorologist Vera Jimenez, who is tracking the timeline of the storm. Vera.
Thank you so much, Sharon, Micah. As you take a look, this is a view of the max Doppler. We've seen rain on and off this afternoon into the evening. As we make our way through the evening, the rain is going to continue to intensify. We are going to be looking at rain for the next several days. But right now, what I actually want to show you is what it's going to look like the next 6 or 7 days, because again, we are going to see more rain than we will see sun. So here's what it looks like very quickly. If you happen to be in the LA coastal basin, your dry day for the next 7 days are going to be on Wednesday. And then you'll see maybe a little break on Tuesday. So again, instead of talking about when it's going to be wet, I'm actually talking about when it's going to be dry, because most of us are going to see a lot of rain. It looks like Sunday afternoon, we are going to see a break along the coast. We'll get rain again Monday, Tuesday, dry on Wednesday. Rain returns Thursday, Friday. In the San Gabriel Valley, you're going to see a lot of cloud cover on Sunday, but most of your day is actually going to be dry. Not completely dry, but you're just not going to get as much rain. Then as we head into the middle of next week, you are going to see some showers on Tuesday and then dry on Wednesday, wet again on Thursday. For Orange County, it's going to be the same thing as the San Gabriel Valley. Sunday looks like it's going to be your cloudy, just light showers, if any. And then Wednesday of next week will also be your completely dry day, because Tuesday, you're going to see some showers in the morning. We'll take a look at the rest of the forecast and the rest of that timing in just a few minutes.
Vera, thank you. And fears are growing that the storm could unleash destructive mud flows and debris into hillside neighborhoods in all the burn areas, including the Eaton fire burn area.
We continue our team coverage from Sierra Madre. Sarah Welch live as residents there are watching and waiting for the worst of the storm to roll in. Sarah.
Micah, Cher, good evening. People are watching closely. The rain had intensified here in the last 30 minutes or so, but you can see now it's died down a bit as people wait again for it to pick up. And as we look behind here, we can see water moving through the wash at this hour. People living up here in Sierra Madre, they've been through this before. Just last February, they saw some damaging mud flows, and they do not want to repeat. Let's take a look from Sky 5 earlier. A great look at just how close so many of these Sierra Madre homes are to the basin dam, or to the dam basin, pardon me. Today we saw lots of sandbags and K-rails set up to divert water from any homes. Over the last several months since the Eaton fire and those devastating winter mud flows, LA County has been working to keep the dam basin clear in case of another buildup. And there are some other catch basins in the area. Some residents, though, told us that at least one of them isn't being maintained. We walked up the Yucca Trail earlier today, where we were shown a catch basin at the top. Residents tell us that they've been asking city leaders to clear out and maintain it for months. They tell us it's full of debris, and these homeowners tell us they're worried if there are significant rains, they could be at risk again for massive mud.
We had the same situation in 2008, and we had it in February of this year. What happens when that reaches overcapacity and the mud continues, we get mud flow. It comes down Yucca Trail, makes a left, goes downhill, down Woodland. Remove the debris behind the timber and post structure and maintain it. Put it on an annual, biannual, whatever it takes, maintenance program to make sure this never happens again.
We did send an email to the city for their response earlier this afternoon. Meantime, burn zones from the Eaton fire are in a phase 1 evacuation warning. But again, as Sharon, Micah, you said, starting at 8 o'clock tonight, those warnings are going to transition to evacuation orders in some of the most vulnerable areas post-fire. This is when some of the rain is supposed to be its heaviest. So again, back here live again as we look at some of the water flowing here in the Wash. We're at Cannon and Sturtevant, an area that was hit hard by mud back in February. Again, people are waiting and watching as phase 1 of the storm moves through, and then people get geared up for the second phase, again happening throughout the weekend. Back to you in Hollywood.
Sarah Welch, thank you. We continue our live team storm coverage with Chris Wolf live in Malibu, where evacuations and road closures are affecting residents. Chris.
Yeah, Micah, as I'm sure people can see, the rain is here, steady and heavy at times. As we just heard, mandatory evacuation orders will be in effect for several people in this area in less than 1 hour. And also, take a look behind me, a stretch of Canaan Doom Road here through Malibu is now closed because of at least one car crash and downed power lines. Flood watches, evacuation warnings and orders, threats of mud flows and bursts of heavy rainfall. Millions of people across Southern California are on high alert as a West Coast storm could throw some communities into chaos this November weekend. People who live within or near burn areas, including the imprint from the sweeping and deadly Palisades fire in January, are advised to keep a close watch on conditions and be prepared to leave at a moment's notice. Starting Friday evening, certain homes will be under evacuation orders, and those residents are urged to leave immediately.
As always, if you have been contacted by the Los Angeles Police Department at an impacted property, please, please, please heed official guidance and evacuate.
I'm not worried about the rain at all. After what we've been through, this is pretty little stuff. These are little things.
I'm nervous, but there's not many people living there, and what dirt's gonna wash into more dirt. There's not many houses, to be honest.
Slick roads and reduced visibility are proving to be major challenges for drivers, with a seemingly endless string of car crashes reported on the freeways. 126 residents in this area have been informed that they will be under mandatory evacuation orders starting at 8 p.m. this evening, and the LAPD says it has made those notifications. The Los Angeles fire chief is urging others to stay home this weekend and stay safe. Reporting live in Malibu, Chris Wolf, KTLA 5 News.
Thank you, Chris. The storm is expected to bring the most significant rainfall to the LA basin since 1985. As KTLA's Annie Rose Ramos reports, that possibility prompted Mayor Karen Bass to warn residents again to stay home if possible.
Well, officials calling this one of the strongest storms in November that we have experienced, and it is going to be hitting LA in the next 24 to 36 hours.
I encourage all Angelenos to stay safe and prepare for this weekend. Slow down if you're driving and plan ahead.
Take a look at some of the accidents from earlier today across town. At around 9 a.m. today, Sky 5 was overhead of where this car careened down an embankment on the 605 South at the 60 West in the City of Industry. The driver of this Jeep running off the road at the southbound 605. And in West LA, Sky 5 was overhead as the CHP was cleaning an overturned pickup on the right shoulder of the 10 West near the National and Overland exit. That was around 6:45 this morning. No one was hurt and all lanes are now back open. Now, we spoke to drivers who have been driving in today's conditions. Hear what they had to say about being out here on the roads.
It's a disaster. It's a disaster, yeah. Crashes. I just come down from Wilshire, so it's bad.
So many accidents happens lately, so we have to be careful. Californians don't know how to drive in the rain, but we can appreciate it, I think.
Just drive safe, stay in your lane, look over your shoulder.
And this is what conditions look like here between Burbank and Sepulveda. You can see the intersection here already starting to flood, and this isn't even the worst part of the storm, with officials telling us the worst of the conditions can be expected from 1 a.m. tonight until Saturday afternoon. Reporting from Van Nuys, Annie Rose Ramos, KTLA 5 News.
And as the storm moves in, you can monitor the latest weather conditions anytime by heading to KTLA.com and selecting the Weather tab. You'll find hour-by-hour forecasts and our interactive radar.
After an LA City Council vote, Jaime Moore has been sworn in as the new chief of the LAFD. Moore replaces interim chief Ronnie Villanueva, who came out of retirement to fill the post earlier this year after Mayor Karen Bass fired Chief Kristen Crowley in the aftermath of the Palisades fire. Crowley has since filed a damages claim against the city, alleging her firing was an act of retaliation for comments made about budget cuts and LAFD understaffing. Moore says he supports an independent investigation into the department's handling of the Lockman fire, which later fueled the Palisades fire.
A 33-year-old inmate who walked away from a Santa Clarita conservation camp Sunday has been taken into custody once again. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation says that Alejandro Tobar Fuentes was apprehended in the unincorporated Coachella Valley community of Mecca. Tobar Fuentes, a Chilean national, is in the U.S. on a visa waiver and was previously sentenced to 5 years in prison after a 2024 home burglary and subsequent head-on collision.
A federal judge has issued a permanent order ensuring immigrants detained at the so-called B-18 ICE processing center in downtown L.A. are able to see